she actually used the F word. She said, I wonder if you're fake. And
oh, that
I mean,
F word.
Yes, that F word, right? I'll take the other one any day, right?
Let's dive in. Today, we're chatting all about vulnerability.
So, Angie, how do you feel about vulnerability?
Oh my gosh, I love to be vulnerable. Like, I love to just throw it all out there. I love for everybody to see all my stuff. Really.
Are you for real?
No, I am not for real.
I'm like, isn't this called Real Talk with Angie and Beckie? Did you hear what I just said? Real Talk with Angie and Beckie. Real Talk with, it's not even Angie and Beckie, right? Yeah, Real Talk with Beckie and Angie.
What kind of day are you having, Beckie?
I just minimized myself. See, I just minimized
Literally,
myself.
Yes. You did. You did.
Yeah. So you love being vulnerable. It feels great. You want to step into that every second of your life and really
put it all out there.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, put it all out there so everyone can like dissect it and pick at it and just, like ooze and fester. Yeah.
Ooze and fester. Yeah, that's right there with vulnerable. So, I love to look up words, the meaning, not because I don't know the meaning, because oftentimes I'll take a word and I'll give it meaning. It doesn't mean that it's the actual definition. So may I take a moment to read the definition to you?
I would love to hear this actual definition.
Okay. So I actually have two. They're both adjectives. One is capable of or susceptible to being attacked, damaged, or hurt. And I think that for me is where the feeling I get from vulnerable. But the other is willing to show emotion or to allow one's weaknesses to be seen or known.
Yes.
So where do you fall in there around the way you feel about being vulnerable?
You know what made me realize? I am selective on where I'm vulnerable. There's sometimes I don't mind going into emotion. I will cry. Or get angry or show emotion. That doesn't bother me. I will speak my mind selectively. I mean, there's things I think we all want to hide. There are things that I try and cover. Vulnerabilities around things, that I just want to not expose. And was there a second part to that question?
Well, let me go back to where you said I'm selective. What's that measuring stick like? Like this person gets this person gets that. What's that measuring stick for you?
There's just sensitive areas in my life. Okay, we talked about it last week. And it was just a little bit about if somebody said your feet were big, you were like, my feet aren't big. But if someone says your butt is big, it might be a little bit like, my butt's not big, it's hot, right? So you have your areas. I think we all have our areas. And when choosing whether to be vulnerable or how I'm going to be vulnerable, I know where I have my boundaries or my lines. I don't know that I can fully explain them. What about for you? Because here's what I know. This was your topic that you brought to the show today. So I want to know what brought this up for you today that you wanted to discuss vulnerability.
My word for this year is authentic. And I even actually elaborated on it, authentically thriving. So showing up authentic for me feels vulnerable. And so then it's like, it's like when we set goals, sometimes it's not necessarily the goal, it's the goal behind the goal. So vulnerable is like the part behind authentic. So for me, I feel like, I think I mentioned it last week, wearing a mask and not wanting people to see part of me or be selective of how they see me. And I realize I've been that way probably my entire adult life. Could have been before that. I don't know. So showing
Depends on
up
when you define adult.
Okay. That's true in the last 2 years. So I don't know what I'm afraid of. I think that's really what it comes down to, is being afraid of having people see me in a way other than the way I want them to see me, which is so weird because they're going to see me however they want to see me. In the big picture, I have no control over that.
Okay, I have a question. Do you really think that people don't know you authentically?
I think people that really know me well know me. I think that people that know the surface me know the surface me. And I think that's true with a lot of people. I don't think I'm unique to that.
But why would you want to be vulnerable? I don't think you have to be vulnerable to be authentic. But if you're authentic, that doesn't have to be vulnerable. It's just you.
So I
You're
can be
authentic.
authentic without being vulnerable. Then we can just end the show right now.
It's been a great show. Love you. Talk to you next week.
Bye-bye. Life is great. Everything's wonderful.
See how easy that was.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So I think I said two things there. One is I don't feel that in order to be authentic, you have to be vulnerable. And the second thing is, what's wrong with people only knowing you at a surface level? I would prefer to know that at a deeper, intimate level, that your close, deep friend, that I know you at a deeper level. I don't want everyone to know me at that level. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yes. Yes, it does. And can I share a little story here? I don't think I
It's
said it
your
last
platform.
week.
Yes, share.
Last month, a friend of mine whom I trust well, and she asked me how I was doing, and I said, I'm great. And she said, I'm curious what's behind that, because you're always great. You're always great. And she actually used the F word. She said, I wonder if you're fake. And
Oh, that F word.
Yes, that F word, right? I'll take the other one any day. Right? So,
Ouch.
and she gave me a gift. We just had a heart-to-heart conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I thanked her and told her, hey, I realized the way I was showing up was, I'm great. I'm great. Everything's wonderful. My life is great. Below the surface, what's lurking below the surface is right now, it's not great. It's not great. Did you ever read the book, Eat, Love, Pray? Not the movie, but the book.
If there was a movie, I didn't read the book.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So she doesn't go into it too much in the movie, or maybe she did, but it didn't resonate with me like she did in the book. In the book, the very beginning, she was in a marriage and she was really unhappy, and she was lying on the floor of her bathroom. And she had this really deep sadness. And she goes, oh, there you are again. And she was talking about depression. There you are. You've settled in. And so when I have that feeling like I do right now, it's like it settles in my pockets, and I could feel it in my pockets, and that's where it is. And it's this feeling of sadness. It's a deep, deep sadness. And no matter where I go, there it is. I went to the Lowe's yesterday, and I sat in the parking lot, and it's like, okay, there you are. There you are. And I've learned how to leverage it. What are you here to teach me? Why are you here? I know it's temporary. So I'm practicing not getting hung up in, this is my life now. I'm depressed. This is my life. So I'm working on not getting hung up in that and asking, why are you here? What are you here to teach me? Because anytime I've been in this place, it's been a platform or a jumping board for the next phase. So I'm open, I'm ready, and this is me being vulnerable. I think I need to switch this to wine.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's just use that. And I don't blame you on that. Let me share a story with you, and because I think I can understand a little bit and maybe a different perspective if you're open.
Absolutely.
As you know, or I think we've talked about, I go out on my back porch out by the pool, and I lay on the deck or not on the deck, in the chair, and meditate. And my meditation's more open to what I'm supposed to receive. What's the message I'm supposed to receive? And these same things kept coming up for me on frustration and anger and resentment of these things outside of my control. And I was doing what am I supposed to learn from this? Once I learn this, can I move on? Because do I need to learn? How do I need to? And I got caught up in the learning process. Okay, did I learn it yet? No, obviously I didn't learn it yet because there it is. It's back again. So now I'm a failure. These are the things that I was going through. And then something, I don't know if I read something, heard something, but I just had this awareness of, wait, there it is again. All right, there you are. It is, and this sounds so like everybody says, it is what it is. But it is what it is. It is a thing. It is something I'm feeling. Okay, I feel it. Now let's go. Now it's not that easy. I get that. I really do. But when I put this time, for me, when I put time into thinking about what am I supposed to learn? I was looking for this lesson. I was looking and searching. So to me, I was actually bringing it on more. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. Because I think a lot of the reason why I'm here is because I keep looking outside and searching, like, what do I need? What do I need? So I can glom onto something.
Well, you want to fix it.
Yeah, I want to fix it.
You want to fix it so you can move on.
Yes. Yeah.
But maybe the lesson is just accepting it. Accepting, I feel sadness. I feel, and for me, I don't know. I wouldn't want to put the labels on it as far as I'm feeling sad because of, no, this is, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. And we all know feelings are temporary. You even said it's going to pass, right?
Yes.
So do you know what in the past was made it magically disappear?
In the past, I wouldn't say it magically disappeared. I feel like I'm doing the things that I get to do to move forward, move out of this. Yet it's still there.
You're doing.
I know. Why are we whispering?
Because I wanted to make an impact.
Yeah.
You're doing things. You're doing. That may not make sense, especially to those that may be listening. What do you mean doing? You're actively doing things and it's keeping it alive. You're feeding it because you're doing these things. You're feeding it. Let it be. That, at least for me, let it be. And it may be, we talked about, you may just wallow in it. It just, let it be. It is something that is in your life. Maybe it is a gift. You're trying to figure it out. How is that resonating at all? So I don't go to keep like going on and on.
I feel like this is like a volcano that's erupting. I mean, at the risk of sounding dramatic, I feel like it's a volcano that's erupting. And I've been, shifting into everything's wonderful. It's great. Oh, life is wonderful. But really what I've been doing is I've been stuffing and stuffing and stuffing and stuffing. And now that stuffing is eroding and it's starting to come up. And it's actually sucks. And it's awesome. I've had stuff come up from junior high that I had stuffed so deep, and now it's coming up, and it explains, I might have mentioned it last week, I don't remember. It explains so much. And having this stuff come up. So now I'm like, like the magician who keeps pulling the scarves. It's like I feel like I keep pulling stuff out. And so in doing that, it's kind of really cool, even though it's not so great.
Oh, I was going to say, are these happy revelations? Are these happy experiences? Are these things that bring you joy when you remember them?
Validating.
Validating
I
what?
think with a particular situation, I believe that I told myself a story about it that was not true. And now I'm switching that story because of what came up to what is true. And I was taken advantage of, like seriously taken advantage of. Yeah. By somebody that I trusted. And let me just say it. This is what came up.
Okay.
When I was 15, I'm going deep here today. This is real talk. My best friend, her boyfriend, took me home and stopped at the park along the way and forced himself on me. I said no. He dropped me off, and he got home and called her right away to tell her that I came on to him and it was my fault. And she and her mom both verbally attacked me, called me a slut. And I believe that situation, I mean, I was of a normal weight prior to that. I put 40 pounds on in a year. I believed I was a slut. And
this is at 15?
Yeah. Yeah. I remembered it as I didn't really remember it, to be honest, until recently. And I had it come up and it was like, oh my God, he forced himself on me. They blamed me. My best friend, the woman that was like a second mom to me, blamed me. Mm-hmm. What do you do with that? That was 40 years ago. 40 fucking years ago. And I just pulled it up.
And you wonder why you're feeling emotion?
Yeah.
And what lesson in God's creation could you need to learn from this, except that, well, I'm just going to ask it. I'm going to ask it. What lesson do you need to learn from this? Because you said you're looking for the lesson. The lesson is shit happened to you. It's just a fact. There's no shame, blame, or guilt that you own from that.
I carried it for 40 years, way deep down in there.
Where else would you like to carry it?
I don't want to carry it at all. Yeah, I'm ready to let go of it. I mean, I feel like this tapping has really helped release it. And maybe I haven't fully released it. So I get to work
Has
on
it
that.
brought it up, or is it just release? Like, is it releasing it, or is it bringing up and now you get to release it?
Well, now I get to release it because it's up. It's on the surface. It's there.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am sorry. And I'm sorry that I didn't know. I didn't know.
I've never told anybody. Well, because they blamed me, and then they spread it out to all of our friends. And so they all saw me that way. This was at 15 in junior high, when, you're kind of awkward and it's tough.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Who decided to call this one vulnerable? Who did that?
That's why I asked you. That's why I asked you. I was getting ready. I was like, Becky wanted to do one on vulnerability. Well, why? Why? I wanted to know why. Why do we attach things that happen in our lives to be, it happened and it's not happening now. I don't know how else to explain it. And it's not a detachment. It's not stuffing. It's, I guess, choosing to where I put my energy for me and with whom I put that energy towards or with.
So, Angie, what would you say your biggest fear around being vulnerable is?
Oh, gosh. You used the word just a little bit ago. And for those that heard the podcast from last week, there's something I identified was, word you used earlier was leverage. And last week, I remember that I said that I feel like sometimes, especially if I want to use the situation with, I used superiority. So I feel like putting myself in a position of being vulnerable could be used against me as leverage. Someone would have leverage against me. This is real. Or would make them feel superior, whether they are or not. It's all perception, right? That would be part of it.
So what do you think's below that? Because I totally relate to that. And we talked about that last week about friends using stuff against you down the road. So what do you feel that's underneath that for you?
are these our friends? If these are our friends, then why are we afraid of that? I think I would be, I mean, I truly, I feel like I've been more vulnerable with freaking complete strangers than sometimes I am with friends. That just, they're not friends. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. No more friends. You're all out. Um, no. What about this vulnerable? Because people do it. Because people do it. They use it. They use it. And I'm saying in general, I've had it happen. I'm not saying everyone does it. And why, I don't know. I wonder now, do I do it? Or do we all do it? Is it something we all do?
Use other people's vulnerabilities against them?
Yeah, well, or even secretly. Like, haha. You know what I mean? Like, like even just having that feeling of like, because I talked about it. I'm just waiting for her to fail, or she'll fail soon, or she's not going to, I don't know. I don't know. I do know that what happened to me with the brain injury, especially, it humbled me. Humbled me. That was probably one of the hardest things for me. Things were so much easier before, and I took it for granted. Like, rock star that I was in my own legendary way. Yeah, it humbled me, and it made me more gracious. No, I don't know what that word is, but humble. And on top of it, there are people who leveraged my vulnerabilities against me. So, yeah. Why put myself in that situation? Then there's another part of me, Becky. I guess it depends on the day. Sometimes I feel like I can be vulnerable. I feel like, I could just share more of my life, what my experiences are, or what I'm going through at that time. Because in 5 minutes, I may be like, oh, okay, I'm done. I don't know. None of this may make sense to anyone but me. But I feel like we do have these ebbs and flows. And what we're willing to share and be open, I don't know, just day by day. What about you? What's your fear around being vulnerable?
Probably kind of like what you said, is having people use it against me. People see me as weak. Well, what's the definition? Willing to show emotion or to allow one's weaknesses. God, no, not the weaknesses, to be seen or known.
I'm going to ask specifically around being authentically thriving. Why do you have to be vulnerable to get there?
It's a great question. Why do I need to be vulnerable to be authentic? Well, what does authentic mean to me? Let's go there. Authentic to me means, as I sit up straighter.
Straighten your crown, honey.
Yeah. Authentic means like peeling back the facade and showing up authentically. I still get to choose who sees that, though. I feel like that's not compromising. In passing, just say great. In real friendships, like in real deep friendships, being authentic means, like when my friend said, I feel like you're fake. She's a close enough friend where I could say, it's not so great right now. And we could leave it at that. I wouldn't have to dig into it.
Absolutely.
So to our viewers, I would love to hear what you feel about vulnerability, being vulnerable. What does it mean to you? And when have you shown up in a way that was vulnerable that you felt like it was successful? Say it in the comments. Make sure you follow us, like, and share with your friends.
See you next week.
See you next week.